Good evening, everyone. Welcome to FPL BlackBox ahead of Game Week 31. I'm joined by Andy North as always, and he wasn't on the sting because I forgot to put him in. But we've also got Mr. Luke Williams joining us as well. How you doing, Luke?
I'm doing good, mate. I'm doing good. Keeping tabs on the games in Europe because it's all important this week. How are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, Andy, you doing all right?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, no, it's good. Obviously, finally got over the duck puns from late tackle. But no,
I missed those. Good. I would have put them into the title if I'd known.
Terrible. Just goes to show, Luke, he doesn't watch our stuff, does he?
I know. It was gold.
Not committed.
I just take a nice break, and I trust you in completely to handle things. So I just let you go. I let you know. I let you. I don't need to micromanage you and watch it. I don't care what you've got to say. Speaking off to you anyway, so it's absolutely fine.
And you were ill, weren't you? You were ill.
I was. Yeah, I've been ill for ages, and it's been really annoying. But I'm feeling better now, and we're late because we spent about 15 minutes quoting Team America to each other. So it's a very professional start, actually, considering where we were at 5 minutes ago. So well done. Yeah.
It's taken all my willpower not to do another quote now, so I'm just going to leave it there.
It'll come out on the podcast recording, I think, because I did put record. Hopefully everyone is doing well. Yeah, we've got eyes on the Europe games. Obviously, Palace are playing to see if that game is some concerns that game was going to be put back into 31 or put into 32, but I think it's over, right? They're through. Palace are through.
Yeah,
cool. So we don't have to worry about that anymore, which is good. It's basically this episode is all looking ahead towards Game Week 31, which is a big week given the blanks, given chips are going to be deployed like straight afterwards. So we need to maximise all the points we're going to get out this week. We've got a few different things to talk about. Free hits, if you're thinking of those. Wildcard, I'm thinking of doing that. When you see my team, you'll see why. So we've got you covered on that. And yeah, we're going to be basically talking and ranking all of the players that you might be thinking of bringing in this week to try and help you move up the ranks. It's almost like a tier list, Andy, from what we did early in the season, but hopefully it goes a little bit smoother.
People loved the tier list as well, so I can't wait to do that again.
Pre-season, baby. We'll be back and doing that. Absolute hot mess. Before we talk, we should cover Game Week 30 points. You two did all right. I think, Luke, you were top 62. Talk us through it.
Didn't actually know that. Okay. I got Raya in goal with his 7. Anderson with 7. I haven't really got many scorers outside him as like kind of a differential because Gabriel with 9. I think everyone's got him. O'Reilly and Haaland as well. Both potentially weren't going to play, right? So that was something I was weighing up as to whether to remove them or not for this week. So luckily they played, but unfortunately, as the usual style, it doesn't even matter because they managed to get no points versus West Ham, so that was good. Virgil with 2, Enzo with 2. I mean, Enzo, Rice and Rodgers, who got 3 and 2 as well, just endless blanks from my midfield, and it's like, I've been wanting to change him for weeks, but instead I've been saving for this chaos that's coming. Bruno with a 10 to 20, I think he was probably everyone's captain virtually, outside of Salah maybe is like the only other one people really seem to go to, and then Thiago was 6, Haaland 2. So
Andy's face, you'd be stupid to go for anyone else. Let's be
honest. Yeah, maybe so. So it's only really Anderson that was like any extra points than anyone else. I think a lot of people still got. Maybe double Arsenal's not as popular anymore. I guess it's not, but felt fairly underwhelming as most weeks so far this season.
Well, it was a pretty standard week for you, but 62 was still enough for a pretty sizable green. So I think you're being a bit downbeat. I think you had
the games are running out, aren't they? And it's like, I wasn't expecting much this week, so actually I should be pretty happy because I think the team was pretty bad. So 62, yeah, decent.
Andy, 61, feel the same as Luke, or a bit happier with your captain blank?
Yeah, I kind of went for it. So I saw obviously all the stats about Spurs, and I thought that Liverpool were going to go out and score a few past them, to be perfectly honest. So I got Van Dijk in for O'Reilly because I was worried about O'Reilly. Turns out both of them play, but both of them got 2 anyway. Szoboszlai, who I got in 2 weeks ago, has obviously done pretty well for me, got me 11 points there. But I did captain Ekitike and obviously didn't play. So getting 61 points considering I had a captain blank. I did have Hill getting me 8 points, who's just it got me so many points. It's literally got him in at 3.9 million, I think, and he's just continued to get me points, which has been great. And obviously I had Szoboszlai as well, who got me 11. So Yeah, Raya with 7, Gabriel with 9, Van Dijk with 2, but Hill got me 8. And then Rodgers and Anderson both got me 2, but Jaboslai and Bruno Fernandes got me 11 and 10 respectively. Ekatike captain with 2, and then Haaland 2, Thiago 6. But I also had Dubravka and Anderson on the bench with 6 and 7, and then Wilson with 3. So I had some points on the bench. If Ekatike hadn't played at all, obviously Bruno would have been my vice and Wilson would have come on, which would have been quite nice. But 61 points, so about 50k green arrow, which I look at it and think, well, if I went for it, it failed, but I still got a 50k green arrow. You'd take that every time you went for it, wouldn't you? So yeah, I got to be quite happy. Hopefully still aiming for top 100k by the end of the season.
I reckon if that, well, you'll probably say no because of the doubles, but say Mukiele was Alderete this week, I reckon you might have been considering a bench boost with that. Right?
No. Well, my plan's always been wildcard 32, bench boost 33, so I probably wouldn't have done that. There were some big bench points this week, a lot of benched points. So, but no, I don't think I probably would have done.
Lovely segue.
You wouldn't have done because Wilson was a doubt, right? And Anderson wasn't even 100% to play either. So we have to have that context as well.
Yeah, okay, fair point. Well, I was just going to say 16 points for your bench boost. You'd absolutely take in the double game week, right? And then if you had Adorete and getting, even if you got 2, you take 18 and
I also would have expected Bournemouth to score against Burnley as well.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of bench points this week. You know, a lot of people getting Allisons off the benches, Hills, whoever. I could really have used some of those points because I got Gabriel Goodmanson off my bench for his red card in that game, which I think, if anything, has summed up my season so far. It's that. I'm absolutely delighted that I managed to get away from this game for a green arrow, despite getting Goodmanson subbed in for a -2. Kelleher goal conceded to Wolves. He was a terrible transfer. I wish someone had told me that was a bad transfer when I did that goalkeeper move a few weeks ago. Would have been really, really helpful. Good balance of terrible move and bad luck, I think, with Goodmanson. Bought in Van Dijk this week for Timber. Timber went off quite early. I thought, oh, great, that's going to go well. No, it didn't because obviously Spurs scored quite late. Gabriel 9.
I was gutted when I saw you brought in Van Dijk because I brought him in as well, and I went, "Oh no!"
I was talking up Truffaut, wasn't I, on the thing? Got 11
we
points.
both were. Yeah,
I know. The thing was, Munoz is like I was all set to take Munoz out, and then it seemed from the comments that he was going to be fit to play. I assume he played tonight.
Benched, yeah.
Benched,
he was on the bench.
Okay, so he was more injured then than Glasner was really letting on, which was annoying. But anyway, I did that move. Dango came in, happy with that. Anderson blanked. Fernandes captain, got that one right. Rice and Ekatike blanked. Thiago with 6 and Haaland with 2. So yeah, 52 points. But you know, when the player actually contributes a minus, it's like the chase, isn't it? You know, when one of them takes like a lower offer, it brings the total of the team down. Everyone like boos. Felt a bit like that. Felt a bit like Bradley Walsh this week. So small green, whatever. We move. But yeah, bit annoyed about stuff, but no more annoyed than normal. Great.
How long have you owned Goodmanson for, by the way? Did you own him for the difference between him and Rodon? Well, I was going to say, was it? Yeah.
That week I got Rodon, you got Goodmanson. I think I got a goal the very same week you got injured. But then, to be fair, Rodon got injured later. But yes,
I'm going to get some pelters for this because again, like, you know, someone's always said, "Oh, we don't need to listen to Az's Taylor Woe every week." But can I just tell you a brief story about Rodon and Goodmanson?
Can I just tell you a tale of woe, please?
Yeah, screw that guy. This is my therapy session. I put this stream together.
Go on, Gary.
31 points that decision has cost me. Goodmanson over Rodon. 31 points for a 3.9 million defender. Because I bought Goodmanson the week he went off early and Rodon scored, which is when you had him, Luke. He's been, every time I've needed Goodmanson, Rodon's outscored him, either with Defcon or with something else. Goodmanson's got booked. And then obviously this week, Rodon gets 8 and Goodmanson kept -2. So 31 points I worked it out as over the season.
Do you want
It's
the good
not
news?
like
Some of the models wildcards that happen in 32, Goodmanson appears quite often. So
does he?
You get to see the season out with him, mate.
Well, I can't wait to get rid of him on my wild card and watch him score like back to back. He got a goal and assist, I think, in the cup, or 2 assists or something like that in the last round of the cup. And I was like, oh, good. He's making good this promise. Yeah, absolute nightmare. It was a good week for the great and the good. Only 2 red arrows. Hussey at the top. A ranking change of -320. He's still in the top 10k. And FPL General got a 22k red. But yeah, seas of greens for everywhere else. Pretty much all Brunos. There wasn't too many Haalands out there, so very different to last week. Andy, you went rogue. You were the Maverick.
Yeah, apparently
this
so.
week with Ekatike. I was seriously considering it, but didn't go for it in the end. And I wasn't expecting him to be benched, and I wasn't expecting Spurs to get a draw. So it just shows, doesn't it, that you can't predict the Premier League.
I watched the first 20 minutes and I didn't realise that Slot was going to be quite so cautious. And I just watched it and thought, oh no, this isn't going the way I wanted it to. And then obviously Zaboslai scored and I thought, oh, here we go, floodgates will open. And then I just watched the whole second half thinking, I know they're going to concede, and they did. And yeah, not good. It's weird because it's been a good week for Spurs, really, considering how bad the weeks were before it. It's been all right.
It's funny, isn't it? Like, you think a draw and getting knocked out of the Champions League is now a good week for Spurs, but it sort of is. Like, at least there's a bit of promise. And I did the Q&A for Scout early with Sam, and she seemed quite upbeat, which is rare for her this season, having gone to the games. I mean, what a game they've got at the weekend against Forest. I mean, that is... She said it's the biggest game in their history. With no hyperbole whatsoever, I'm sure. But
I would have said Europa League final last year was pretty first trophy.
yeah. I'm just telling you what she said. She said it's a big game, because if they get relegated, they are absolutely screwed, I think. But loads to talk about on this show. We've obviously got the schedule coming up and chip strategy. I was going to put something together on chip strategy, but I've been listening to quite a lot of the pods, like Solio pods, and obviously all the stuff Ben Crellin does, and I just don't think we can go into much depth as some of them go into. And actually, when I boiled it down to when are you going to play your chips, it very much came very, very similar strategies. Whether you've got, your wild card, your free hit, your bench boost, whatever combination of those you've got, I think the majority of people are going to be wild carding next week. I think they are going to be free hitting in 33 or 34, and they're going to be bench boosting in 33. I think that just is the strategy, and you just take one of those out if you haven't got the chip to do it. And if you've got the triple captain left, you find a place for that probably later in the season in 36 or 37. So we could spend an hour on it, but I don't think there's a huge amount to discuss. Although, Luke, you did say you've been eyeing up a potentially different strategy with chips later on, right?
Yeah, I mean, like you say, there's definitely better people to listen to for chip strategies, and to talk about that. Planet FPL James Solio pod as well that came out is really good on it as well. JC Spaceman. There's loads of names, you guys probably know them all, but yeah, I think also listening to Praz on some of those bits and pieces, it's like I guess it's twofold. Like for me, where I am around 500k, if that's the obvious strategy that everyone else is going to be doing, do I want to just toe the line? Like maybe I do want to just toe the line, and hopefully, against
Andy's back.
Against like the casual player base, you're probably going to go up in OR, right? But I've said this many times before. The people I actually care about and want to compete against are generally like everyone in the Twitter sphere and in BlackBox world and God knows what else, content creation world, or wherever we're just active in Discords, in analytics crowd. Like all of those guys are the guys I'm interested in competing against. And if they're going to go that route, then going a different route, we've seen it. Doesn't mean it's going to happen again, but particularly in the last 2 seasons, when you've played your free hit, has been massive. Like the variance, unfortunately for me, I've been on the wrong side both times, but I think one of the weeks was something like 200 points, wasn't it? Free hit 34, was it like 2 seasons ago, that one? Compared to the free hit in a blank where we barely made like 22 points. It was even under. Do you remember someone got sent off for Brentford or something in the first minute? And I think it was a similar last season as well. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but to give myself the best chance of like having a crazy finish, it probably makes sense to go different. So that's one avenue where I'm thinking, well, maybe I try to do something a little bit different. I don't really have much faith that it will be a huge difference this time. So I just don't think we've got the players and options available to really do it at the moment. Doesn't look like it. But also I think there are some value in the sense that if you go down the common strategy, or the one that you just mentioned about using free hit in 34 and wildcard 32, bench boost 33, I think a lot of teams will have like triple Arsenal, triple City for good reasons. But if the league's already won by say 37, 38, we've seen it before where Man City, just will play anyone, rest and rotate. And Arsenal, if they're in other competitions and they've literally won the league, I would expect that they'll play their other players as well. So at the moment, like saving free transfers and stuff, I think that could be quite important because that is a realistic possibility that could happen. And then in that strategy, I think you actually have triple City, triple Arsenal a lot. Whereas if you have a later wild card and you've got more of that information to see whether that happens, you could pick a completely different team. Whereas everyone else has already spanked all their stuff, they're stuck with 3 Arsenal, 3 City, and then that might be a problem for them if they haven't got the free transfers to sort it out. So I do kind of like the idea of a late wildcard for that reason, because you still get constantly, it feels like I'm saying it every week, we get more information the week afterwards. We get more. Eventually it's going to run out, but I think there's some value there, right?
And you're in a position with 4 free transfers, right? So you can use those and almost do a sort of a mini wildcard now.
Yeah, I mean, the problem I've got is I kind of have to anyway because my team's so bad, and I've been unfortunate with injuries like Tarkowski and stuff that it's not as powerful as I'd hoped it would be. But yeah, I mean, there's loads of times to use free transfers throughout this strategy, right? I think there's an obvious one where Bruno Fernandes, I think, is the best captain in game week 32, if I'm not mistaken. But then in game week 33, you could play him, but he's only got a single game, so you'd probably want a double. So it makes sense to move him to Palmer for the double, and then potentially bring Bruno straight back because he's arguably the best pick in the game. So there already you commit in potentially 1 or 2 transfers, right? Then you've got the 36 double with Palace City that we think now, particularly after tonight, it looks like that's the most likely place that will go. So you might want to be bringing in Palace assets for 36 and then probably getting rid of them after it because the fixtures aren't great and there's other options. So that's more transfers you commit in. On top of that Man City and Arsenal scenario, like I've already said, which could play out, where you don't even need to pick their players. Like suddenly you need transfers the whole way through. So it's not just about, this week, I can fix my team and use 2 or 3 of them, which I might have to do. It's suddenly like, where am I going to get these extra free transfers from? So that's almost independent of what strategy you pick, because you're just going to need loads. And that's why I've been saving them every week with this terrible team, in the hope that I can make some moves later.
I'm glad I've got one.
As possible.
So that's.
Well, I did tell you not to do the luxury transfers, didn't I?
That's really made me feel better. CH just said, "Can you make the graphic larger?" There's nothing on that chart. It's just for show. Imagine if that was actually like a really well thought out like graphics chart. It's not. So no, don't worry. Andy, these are what we're looking at for the Blank Gameweek. This is from Scout. We are pretty sure, I mean, we did cover this last week, but if you're listening and catching up, we're pretty sure that Brighton-Chelsea is going to be a blank in 34. We're pretty sure it's going to be moved to 33 as well. All Chelsea need to do is beat Port Vale. Chelsea aren't great, let's be honest, but they should beat Port Vale. There's 91% odds of that. We think Arsenal are going to beat Southampton. That would mean Arsenal-Newcastle is a blank in 34. We don't think anything is going to happen with the Leeds and West Ham game. I think if West Ham beat Leeds, then it's pretty much a guarantee that it's not. I think we're hoping that Leeds beat West Ham. I think there's more chance of a double happening if that happens due to like scheduling of different games. And then the big one is obviously the Liverpool-Man City game, because that is in favour of City, 66% chance. But Liverpool obviously are Liverpool and could spring a surprise and win that, which would have ramifications, particularly on a wild card, which I'm going to talk about in a bit. But yeah, you getting excited about this, Andy? You looking forward to bringing in some Brighton and Chelsea players?
maybe not so much that. I'm looking forward to. I mean, it's always fun getting to chip season. The big thing as well, we should say, by the way, just in case people don't know, is that we'll know all of this before game week 32. Yeah. So that's obviously big, and there's a massive gap between 31 and 32, which I don't think we've really had a gap like this before.
10th
apart
April,
from
isn't it? Ludicrous.
Yeah,
so
it's literally ridiculous. Apart from like COVID, I can't remember the last time we had this much of a gap in between the season. But yeah, so we will definitely know what's going to be happening. So if you're on wildcard, whatever it is, you're going to know what to do when you're making your moves, or the same if you don't have a wildcard. But I think you've got to be excited about it. The only thing is, this doesn't feel like kind of FPL chip season like it ever used to be, if that makes sense. Like, we used to have loads of teams doubling, we used to have more than one double, and now it seems quite easy if you've got all your chips to know that this is poor. Yeah, no, that's what I mean. And it seems a bit more kind of, we used to get our edge quite quickly by saying, yeah, this is how we're going to play it, we know this is going to happen, this is going to happen. It's quite easy now. Yeah. There's not really a lot to look at, to be perfectly honest. Obviously, there could be a bit of a difference if, say, Liverpool beats City. I think that would be quite interesting. But even then, it just means it swaps them around, doesn't it? You just swap Liverpool and City assets around. So, yeah, I think the optimal strategy is to do the wildcard in 32, bench boost in 33, and free hit in 34. And I think that's quite easy to look at and see. But apart from that, I mean, I don't know. What else are we doing? Like you said, in 36, could be interesting with triple captain. I've got to get excited because I can't play the whole FPL season and not get excited when chip season comes along. But yeah, it doesn't feel quite as exciting as normal.
Question for you. So my team, as we're going to see in a bit, is a bit of a wreck this week, and that's putting it mildly. You showed a graphic on the Scoutcast and sent it to me, which is that I think the average FPL manager at this stage has 4 players blanking.
Between 4 and 5,
right?
yeah.
But then with those 4 and 5, you could also have Chalobah and Tarkowski. And if you're an idiot like me, you could have Goodmanson in goal. Like there's a couple of now injured players who, Goodmanson, you could be relying on him. He was the cheapest player in the game at one point, so you can see why people would have him. Chalobah's obviously really highly owned. There's other players around there. So I did a poll earlier on Twitter, which was, at what point would you need to consider using a chip this week? Whether it's a free hit just to get through it or a wild card to do it. Luke, how many points would you say one of these is worth? Because I was looking at it, and the reason why I'm thinking about the wild card is I just think the free hit is too important to use this week, because you're going to need it to get through in 33 or 34. In 34, when if you're building a team for 33, and then all those players in blank in 34, what are you going to do without a free hit?
Yeah, well, unless you've got loads of free transfers to navigate that without a wild card, then yeah, you're probably right. That's assuming you want as many doublers as you can fit, followed by a full team in the blank. Obviously, some people might say you haven't got 11 here. You could obviously miss out one player in a double, couldn't you? Which is the same. You lose one fixture either way, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I think you're right. I mean, again, I listen to the guys who are just better at this fixture stuff, and this is what we kind of it's so lazy now. Like back in the day, I used to try and attempt to sort this stuff out, but we just don't need to do it these days. There's guys that are so good at it, and they put out the content, and it's just like, thank you very much. And JC Superman, or Spaceman rather, is so good at this sort of thing and so good at the game that if he's saying wildcard when potentially you're in a situation like yourself with maybe 10 or even 9 players this week is potentially quite good, then who am I to argue? Like, I've got to listen to these people because they're very smart and
they live it, don't they? They live and breathe it.
If anyone's not heard what he's doing, this guy is on solo sorting out 700 tributaries and different paths depending on if this scenario, throwing in randomization, throwing in little injuries here or there, and coming up with the safest possible route.
Still recommending Pascal Gross though, so we have to take it with a little bit of a pinch of salt.
Are you not a fan of that?
No.
What? I thought you would be. Club legend. I love Gross. He's fantastic.
He's a great player, but I don't think he's got a goal or an assist. Is he even back? Is he?
Doesn't he take some set pieces? He's got some defcons. I think he's useful as a bench boost player. You get an appearance points plus a little bit extra. What's the problem with that?
He's not.
I think Stack's better as an option there.
Do you know what he has got a goal and he has got an assist so far this season. My apologies to our greatest ever player, Pascal.
Yeah, well that's part of another part of doubles, isn't it? We often end up putting players in our teams for a double that we are not particularly confident on actually doing points, but the numbers say that they should be decent options, and obviously we've seen that go both ways, right? Sometimes it's tragic, and other times you have like an Iwobi or someone from Wolves just absolutely haul. Like, it can happen.
Can't happen with Arias though. He's gone. It's a shame.
Yeah,
can't even win FPL without Arias. That's why.
Yeah, well, that is a shame. Maybe you can go for Mane instead.
Luke didn't really answer my question, Andy, so I'll throw it over to you. How many points is acceptable this week without using a chip?
How many points?
To hit? Like -4, -8, -12, just to get 11 out.
If you're struggling, you're just aiming to get the average. It completely depends what players you own as well, though. So there's a lot of dangerous players that a lot of other people own. Most people you would have thought will be captaining Bruno. So if you've got Bruno and you got him as captain, that's a lot of the points covered there anyway. And then it depends who you've got. Like, it really does. I always think in a blank, if you can get to 9, to 9 or 10, I think you're probably fine anyway, because the benefit of having free hit in 34 far outweighs not having 1 or 2 players in game week 31. So I think as long as you can get to 9 or 10, most people, like you said, it's just unlucky. They've just maybe got a Tarkowski, a Goodmanson, whatever it is, and now they're looking at. And by the way, this is without random rotation that could happen in 31 anyway. Yeah. Obviously, I don't think it will because of the amount of time we've got after it now, but that could happen anyway. So I think what you could end up doing is trying to get 11 out, taking hits to do it, and you could end up looking at it and thinking, bloody hell, I didn't really need to do that. The only difference I will say with that is if you're bringing in a centre-back like a Newcastle centre-back or a Fulham centre-back, with DEFCON there as well, you could potentially get those points back fairly quickly. That's the difference this year compared to other years, I guess. But for me, in terms of using your free hit, if you're looking at your team and you've only got, say, 8 out with 1 free transfer at the moment, I would still be using free hit in 34. I'm not sure about Wildcard because that's the first time I've really heard of it today when you mentioned it. So I'm genuinely interested in you talking about Wildcard. But I would still 100% be using free hit in 34 rather than 31.
I mean, the thing is, like, the thing that people are always going to say, Luke, is, well, it's only a -2. If you haven't got a player and you're taking a hit and you get to get those 2 points back, you don't get a Goodmanson -2, you're getting 2 back, and that is it worth 2 points to roll the dice and try and get a player? I think you want to have 7 attackers. So if you're going into this with like too many attackers,
this season,
defenders are better than attackers, though, aren't they?
Exactly. Well, but I suppose they are, yeah. But I'm looking at the fixtures and thinking, where are the clean sheets coming this week? You've got Newcastle against Sunderland, but that could be anything.
Have you watched the Premier League this season, mate?
It's true. Okay, but where do you think the clean sheets are this week? I mean, outside of Fulham,
I couldn't
Burnley,
tell you, but there'll probably be about 8. The standard of football I've been watching recently. Mate, I don't know. I think maybe 1 hit is like acceptable. I don't think I'd ever go beyond that. I think I'd play a chip if I found myself in a scenario where I'd have to play.
But is it not looking at them in isolation though? Is it not saying, okay, I'm going to do Munoz to Hall for a -4, right? That's that move done. I think Hall's going to get 6 points, so that's going to pay back, on that hit. And then you look at, well, okay, I've also got Tarkowski, and Moyes is obviously going to rule him out tomorrow because you and I are cursed. So is Tarkowski to Anderson and Fulham? That's a -4, but again, I think that could, that could pay off. Like that, if you look at it like that, it's just saying, well, I think these players are going to get more than the 4 points.
You can't do that, can you? Because we've got more game weeks to come. So you could do that move, and then if you don't wildcard in 22 because you're using your wildcard now, what happens if that player gets injured next week? That's cost you more points than what you anticipated because you're thinking that they're going to be available for a period.
Yeah, but you're wildcarding anyway. You're wildcarding anyway in 32.
Yeah, you are, but then you can obviously have problems later where you have to use free transfers. Like, you can never anticipate. I mean, people got Salah this week, he got injured, we got Tarkowski. Like, it happens all the time. This kind of stuff picks up. So it's not a question of, is that value good now? Is it better to use another transfer on a more valuable transfer later? But
if you've only got one transfer and you've got 7 men or 8 men, I mean, I could be potentially down to, you'd use a chip. Okay, that's the answer then.
Yeah, well, I said I'd only have 1 hit. I would literally do 1 hit, maybe. I'd weigh it up, but I think a -4 is acceptable. If you start getting into -8s to bring players in and you've got chips available, I don't think it's likely that you'll make up those 8 points later. Like, you might do. I mean, this is a game of high variance, isn't it? You could quite easily, but I think you have to get very lucky to make up 8 points on virtually any move in the game. Like, otherwise, this game would be easy. Every week, I just make one move.
But it's easier in a blank because you haven't got the risk of that player.
Yeah, but we're not only. It's just the whole fact that are not only playing for just that week. You are still sacrificing 4 points.
Okay.
And the transfers roll through wildcards, don't they? If it was like a dead end, I could understand.
There'll be people listening to this saying, no, it's a -2, doesn't matter, blah, blah, blah. It's an interesting discussion because, I mean, I looked, if Tarkowski's out, I'm on a -8 to get 11 out. So I'm either doing what you do, Andy, and saying, let's just play with 10 and just not worry about it, take a -4. But then I look at it and think, well, if I'm doing that, I might as well just take the risk and take another hit and just get 11 out.
There's other scenarios that exist that you can't even. So you could do that and you might not even get 11 because 1 or 2 of your players might not turn up, and then you should have used the chip.
True.
So you can't even say for sure you will get 11 with -8.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Okay, let's come over to the chip. I know Andy is desperate to know how I'm going to make my season even worse by wildcarding this week. I listened to the Solio pod earlier. It was absolutely fantastic. Spaceman is a genius and Praz is Praz, so it was a really, really good listen. I had put together a few wildcard drafts anyway because I've been thinking, look, I've got so many players out. I don't want to use the free hit. What sort of wildcard team can I put together? When Spaceman started talking about the wildcard, I was like, oh, thank God. It's not like, I haven't gone completely bonkers. There is some sense to this. So this is the team that I put together, and it is a funny team because you've got to
Look at him. Look at that striker in the middle there.
you've got
There he is.
You've got to think about which players you're just happy to own. You've got to fight the probabilities of which teams are going to blank and which are going to double, and it's not easy, but there is a way of doing it which basically covers you for all the different things that could potentially happen. And the frustrating thing is, obviously, everyone else is going to know what those permutations are going into their wildcard, so they can be a lot less flexible, basically, because they're going to know kind of what exactly is happening. But the wildcard team,
flexible.
a lot. What did I say? No, a lot less flexible, because you haven't got to cover all the different bases of different options. You haven't got to cover for Chelsea, Brighton not blanking in 33 or whatever, because you're going to know what happens with Port Vale, right? If Chelsea lose to Port Vale.
Yeah, I just meant if you use your wild cards, you are less flexible because you don't have a wild card to react to what goes on.
I'm talking purely in terms of team building. Like when you build a team this week, you've got to cover every base. You've got to make sure that you're covered no matter what happens in the FA Cup. Whereas if you're wildcarding next week, you know what's happened, so you can target.
I suppose there is a scenario where it falls perfectly and it was optimal to do so. Like
Yeah.
in hindsight.
Yeah. That would be lovely if I do end up going.
It could
with this.
happen. You never know.
So this is the team that I put together. So it's Sanchez in goal with Anderson, Chow, and Cash. It's Palmer and Son, Bruno Fernandes and Stack, João Pedro, Calvert-Lewin, Haaland's in there, and then you've got Raya, Minte, Van Heck, and Gabriel. So basically, what you want is you want a couple of Arsenal because they're probably gonna double in 33. You need to load up on Brighton and Chelsea because they've actually got a game this week, and then they've got the probable double in 33 as well. And then you go for Leeds and hope that they win in the FA Cup game and get a double, but also they have got good fixtures which covers you on different areas. So like the bench boost, for example, is something that you need to pay attention to. And the good thing about this strategy is that like Brighton and Leeds do have good fixtures when you're going to want to be playing that bench boost, regardless of whether they're doubling or not. So it does cover you for that. And you've got to think, if people are wildcarding next week and worst case scenario happens and Chelsea and Brighton don't double or whatever, everyone's in the same boat, right? There's not going to be any teams to double anyway. So it's not like you're going to be stuck with no doublers when everyone else has got 11, 12, 13, because there just isn't going to be enough teams that do it. So just to give an example, so this is what you've got in 31. And what was great about the solo pod was Spaceman was saying your strategy is basically dependent on what happens with Liverpool. And if Man City go through in the cup, you're fine because you're going to be bringing in City players for 33 anyway. You want to load up on. You've got Haaland in place. You're going to want to get Semenyo. You're going to want to get Gahey. Anyway, if Liverpool have a double game week in 34, then you just carry on with the same strategy. You bench boost in 33, you free hit in 34, which is the same. You get your couple of City players in, and actually this team doesn't look too bad. You've got, I know they haven't got the double game weeks on there, but effectively pretty much all those teams will double, we'd hope. And you've got like a player like Cash, for example, at home to Sunderland, which looks pretty good. Whatever happens with Leeds, they've got a home game against Wolves. So if they haven't doubled, they've got a good fixture in that. Minte and Van Heck have got Spurs away, which is a good fixture, but they should have the double with that with Chelsea too. And overall, it looks pretty strong. And I don't think this team will be a million miles different from a game week 32 wildcard team, which was what I thought.
Can I just ask, is it a possibility that they double in 34? I completely missed that.
Who double in 34? Liverpool?
It says at the bottom there, you said Liverpool potentially doubling in 34.
They can, according to Spaceman.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Because he said that you change the free hit strategy based on who when they double. That was my understanding of it. Luke,
so if City beat Liverpool, they will only double in 33, I'm assuming, but Liverpool could double in 34.
That's what I heard. Maybe I've misheard that, but that was my understanding, was that wherever Liverpool whatever, it doesn't really matter. Basically, the idea is wherever Liverpool have that double game week, that's the week that you free hit in. If they don't have the double game week, you end up with something like this in 33, and you bench boost, and then in 36, you end up with something like this, and you target the Palace potential double back there against Everton at home, and you've still got players like Calvert-Lewin and Stack with decent game against Spurs. Brighton have got Wolves that week at home, so you could go for Verbruggen. You've got Van Heck, you've got Minte, you see what I mean? It's like in those weeks where you're going to be worried about what everyone else is doing with their chips, you're actually covered still quite nicely, even with that wildcard in play.
Could you go back to the actual wildcard team for 31?
Liverpool can double in 36 as well, I think.
Yeah. Well, then you play the free hit.
Same as City.
Then you play the free hit in 36.
Well, no, I think because if Villa win tonight and then they had to make the final of Europe, or maybe even the semis, and then Liverpool go to the FA Cup final, 36 will be a double game week.
But yeah, be a double. Yeah.
I think that's right.
So it's a free hit in 36 if Liverpool get the double then. Yep. Yeah.
The only thing I was going to say about the wild card for 31 is that is that the optimal team for 31? Like you're obviously playing your wild card in the 31, but you've got not many of the players that people are trying to get in 31. I guess
no Wilson.
You haven't got Gordon, haven't got Wilson.
A little bit every single week.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because you're spreading your net so wide, like I says, to cover all possibilities. But it might be a scenario where you're hitting like 80 to 90% of optimal in all of the weeks across the board if it falls nicely for you. It's smart.
I mean, I look at this team and think this team looks pretty decent for 31. I mean, Wilson is the obvious one that's missing, but you've got Palmer in place, which not many people are going to have going into this week. They're all going to want him on the wild card probably, but you're going to give him a bit early. And Pedro, decent game against Everton, especially they've got no centre backs as well. Branthwaite and Tarkowski are both out. You've got 3 home games for your defenders: Anderson, Chow, and Cash. I like that.
I suppose it's just what I said before about if you want to be able to do like the Bruno Fernandes, the Palmer, if you want to be worrying about Palace and who you bring in and out, and then maybe if you want to be getting rid of Arsenal and City towards the end of the season, it's like suddenly you're a bit hamstrung in those areas if you haven't banked the free transfers beforehand.
Yeah.
But beggars can't be choosers, can they? So it might be a good option.
Yeah, I think you're only
32's still the best time to wildcard, isn't it? Because you have all the possible information you could have. So at what point do you think? So obviously your team is in a bit of a worse shape than ours, especially if Tarkowski's out, for instance. So you've already got Goodmanson out. At what point do you go? Do you think, based on your thinking about this week? At what point do you go? I'm going to pull the trigger and wildcard.
Well, I think you only consider the wild card. I'm presenting it as an option. I'm not saying it's like the only option one. But I think if you're like me and you've only got one free transfer, you haven't built up this like safety net of transfers like lots of people have done because you've been. Because I'm doing so badly in the ranks, right? I've been trying to push and bring in Munoz when I probably didn't need to, but hoping he hits that 15, 20 points. I've been trying to move things around to make something happen. But I think you only use it if you're in a position like me. We've got one free transfer, your team is a wreck, and you've got like 8 or 9 players this week. I think that's the only real time that you would use it. I think if you can get 11 out of a -4, I don't think you consider it. But I think if you're going into the -8, -12 territory, as Luke said earlier, I think you've got to consider it, which is where I'm at. So yeah, I think if Tarkowski's out, I think I might have to do it. Because I'll be down to 9. No, I'll be down to 8. I'll be down to 8.
It takes you down an exciting path, doesn't it? Because it is different from what most people will be doing. So there is that.
An exciting path with Stack, Calvert-Lewin, Van Heck.
I didn't say that, but
Triple Chelsea.
They're good options. Chelsea. I mean, I just said that if you do the wild card 32, I think Stack is quite popular. Brighton might still be popular. Calvert-Lewin's still like in the top 5 strikers you can pick in the game, probably. So yeah, I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's high praise. Not that bad. That sounds great. I mean, if you are considering a free hit, we talked about this last week. I think I've tweaked it a little bit, but we don't advise a free hit this week. If you've got 6 players and you haven't got your wild card, maybe you consider it. But I think, like Andy said, I think you probably just try and get through it. But if we're not the gurus of what you do with your team or not. If you do want a free hit, you're probably looking at something like this: double Fulham defence, Leno and Anderson, double Newcastle, Chow and Hall, Palmer, Gordon, Fernandes, Wilson, Ekatike, maybe take a punt on Richarlison, something like that, and João Pedro. There's other players you can pick. Mbumo is playing up front, looks decent. You could put Cash if he's back in defence. You could go for Tavernier against Man United. Like, there are some options, and we're going to rank the options in just a bit. But yeah, is there anyone obvious, Andy, that you think would you definitely include in a free hit that's not on this one?
No, if I was on free hit, I would 100% be going double Fulham, double Newcastle defence. I think that would be an absolute lock for me. I think you stack defences in a 1 week. You're basically playing, daily fantasy sports, aren't you, when you're on a free hit, because you're just picking for that 1 week, and stacking defences is the way to go, especially with the fact they can get DEFCON as well. I think the midfield basically picks itself with, you got penalty takers and you got Wilson there as well.
Is the one I would say, particularly if Salah's out. You've got all free kicks, set pieces.
Would you pick him over Ekitike?
Well, not necessarily. I think maybe over Richarlison, to be honest, or João Pedro. But I think you'd go maybe 5 in midfield. I think Szoboszlai would, certainly if Salah's out,
I think double Liverpool
penalties.
against. We are going to give them a game. They're not very good. They're not that good.
Bowen's the only other one I would mention, by the way.
Yeah, Bowen.
Whether there's
for the DEFCON.
Yeah, for the DEFCON.
Yeah. Nice, cool. Well, we've covered off a few talking points there. We will do the last talking point is on the rankings. I thought we'd just go through the stats and all the normal tables, and then we'll come back to that. And I've got 15 players I think people are considering, and we'll make a bit of a game. Those blind rankings where you put them in the tier and then you can't move them around. Let's see. I'll just pick the players out, and you can put them in the little list, and then we can see where you put them. And then I'll let you move them around at the end. But it'll be interesting to see where you fit on that. But until then, let's have a quick look at some data. So we've got the team defence data over the season. No huge changes here. We've still got Arsenal top, Man City, Liverpool, which is a little bit surprised that Liverpool featuring so highly over the season, especially when they've conceded 12 more goals than Man City, but have an identical XG, not penalty conceded per 90. So it's almost like that metric is absolutely useless, isn't it? Man United 41 goals. They're 4th, Newcastle 5th, and Crystal Palace in 6th. And down the bottom, you've got Spurs, Wolves, and Burnley, which I don't think is going to surprise too many people. Over the last 6, I was quite surprised to see Palace top, given, losing Gahey, losing Munoz for a bit, all the things going around with Glasner and everything. But they have had the best fixtures, but they have been the best defence. And I think it's one of the first times, Andy, we've seen them above Arsenal. Or any team above Arsenal.
It's also that this is XG non-penalty, because they've also had 2 penalties that they haven't conceded, even though they obviously had the penalties. Was it Calvert-Lewin missed it, didn't he? And can't remember. Oh, it's Wolves, wasn't it? Wolves also missed a penalty against them as well.
They also played against 10 men, like 3 games. I think they've had someone sent off.
And again tonight in Europe.
Yeah. I could be wrong, but it's 2 or 3 red cards they've faced in the last couple of games. So that's obviously going to skew it massively.
Good context, Luke. Very nice. Manchester United, 2nd, again above Arsenal. Arsenal at 0.92, Man United at 0.88. And Brighton, I said, we are no pushovers. 4th for defensive data over the last 4. And look at that, Andy. You laugh. 18th worst fixtures.
Why am I laughing?
As well. Because we're going to lose 5-0 to Liverpool on Saturday.
No, it's because you said you're really solid and all that, and yet you still sold Verbruggen. I just watched all of his points come in.
When I sold him, we were 19th, I think, on this list, and we hadn't kept a clean sheet in 12 games. Look at us now. You know what? If I have to sell Brighton players for us to, find off,
fair.
Whatever, I'm happy to take that.
Taking one for the team.
Exactly. Sunderland are down in 17th. Obviously, they have had terrible fixtures, 19th worst, but particularly at home, we've considered them a pretty solid defence, but their defensive data hasn't been amazing. Teams below them are Burnley, Spurs, and Wolves. So, any standouts here, Luke? Any teams to target based on what you're seeing from the defence data?
I think the teams to target are largely known throughout the guys at the bottom there. It's quite clear. But Bournemouth, they had the 2nd easiest fixtures there. It says in the last 6.
Yep.
I know they keep somehow managing to get the clean sheets, but
3 goals conceded, least in the league, but they're 15th.
Every game, every time I'm on here, I say Bournemouth games or a basketball game. I'm expecting loads of goals. Then I go look at their fixtures, and the last 5, half of them are 0-0 or just 1-0 and stuff. It's I don't really know how it's happening. Even when you watch it as well, it's it doesn't tell that story. But the stats are saying that they should be conceding goals. So, say teams to target. I think Bournemouth, they usually give Man United a pretty good game, don't they? And if I remember rightly, but
4-4 last game, wasn't it? Last Sunday season.
Yeah, but I don't know. The data suggests here that people are probably looking away maybe at Bruno Fernandes if they're trying to do something different. But Bournemouth and Bruno Fernandes is just really standing out as quite an obvious pick once again.
The surprising ones, Bournemouth, I was going to say, it's not often you see an XG conceded delta of -7. They conceded 7 goals less than they should have done. Wolves aren't too far from that. Wolves have got the worst defensive data in the league. They've only conceded 6 goals. which is on par with your Man U's, your Arsenal's, your Chelsea's, all teams at the other end of this table. They're at -6 in terms of goals. They should have conceded. So
I think Villa as well are an interesting one, aren't they? People you talk about Bowen, Andy, coming in like he looks like a great pick on quite a lot of number of strategies now, just to bring in as a forward and leave. Particularly now we know that Man City aren't going to double in 31 or 32 because of the Palace scenario. So Haaland to Bowen could be quite a decent move, and Villa are right down there. I mean, they're obviously playing again tonight, like full team out again. Just continue to look ropey. I really would like Bowen in my team, to be honest. I think him pretty good.
Yep. Yeah, I think it would also be interesting to see whether Sunderland improve at all with Roofs and Mukiele coming back.
Yeah, true.
And obviously they're expecting them to come back against Newcastle. Newcastle just got demolished by Barcelona, so whether that makes any difference this weekend, because I think everybody's expected Newcastle to trounce them, aren't they?
They lost them early in the season, 1-0, wasn't it? Yeah, but Sunderland are not amazing at the moment. They've always been poor attacking wise. Look at their data over the season. 30 goals scored. Only a couple of teams have scored less than that. Forest and Wolves. They are bottom of that metric. Burnley just above them. They're in 19th. And Wolves just above them. Spurs, interestingly, Spurs' attack over the season has been really, really poor. Because we always say, don't we? Like, obviously, defence is poor, but attacking-wise, you expect them to nick a goal. And they do. I mean, they've scored 40 goals, which isn't bad. But, the data says they've scored 8 goals more than they should have done based on data. So taking their chances. Clinical, the likes of
They've had 3 different managers now, haven't they? Thomas Frank's a large part of that.
I think you're probably right. I wouldn't describe any of their players as being particularly clinical. So I think of all the teams, I'm actually quite surprised they have scored more than the data suggests. Chelsea are top over the season in terms of attack. So they haven't been great in loads of different games, and all their huddles and stuff haven't really been helping them too much. I mean, how ridiculous was that referee in the huddle? Have you ever seen anything like that in your life?
I just don't understand why the ref doesn't go, all right, lads, can I just step out?
I honestly saw the picture of him and I thought he'd been like photoshopped in. Like, the ref is going to be on Chelsea's side. He's been involved in the huddle. And then I watched the video and I was just thinking, oh my God.
Just when you awkwardness from the referee, you just can't even say to the players, like, please.
Crazy.
When you had that, and you also had Tudor thinking that bold bloke was Slot.
Oh, that was so funny.
That just the two of the best things to happen in ages, wasn't it?
Funny. I really respect the way he doesn't like blink. He's just like, I meant to come and like shake your hand, guy that I've obviously never met before, and then he goes over and sees Slot. Oh, it was so good, so good. Arsenal third on this list. We've obviously been critical. A lot of people have of their attacking play. They're not even as good as the historical top 6 average. Arsenal, they're going to probably win the league at a bit of a canter over the season. 1.73, 1.87 is the historical top 6. So you said it earlier, Luke, about the season being boring. I still think that stat pretty much sums it up.
Well, it's hard to pick a single attacker, isn't it? It's not only that they don't necessarily get the returns, you don't even know who's going to play or who's going to get the full minutes anymore.
Trossard, Martinelli, Madueke, Saka.
Yeah, you might be able to guess on a game-to-game basis, right? But then they might be subbed off and it changed next week, and
they're not consistent.
Back now.
None of them have got any consistency at all when they play. So it's really, really tough. Over the last 6, Chelsea are top, Liverpool second, Man City are third, and Bournemouth are fourth. Interesting, Bournemouth have gone completely the other way. You mentioned about the defensive data. They've only scored 4 goals, and that's actually 6 goals less than they should have scored. So they've been massively overperforming on the defensive data and massively underperforming on the attack. So surely something's got to give at some point with that. Seems a bit unsustainable. And Brighton, with the other team I wanted to mention, obviously the defensive data was good, but the attacking data hasn't been great. But they have had pretty tough fixtures. Let's take a look. We're going to go to the midfielders first. Let's take a look at midfielders over the last 6. Got quite a few on here. There's quite a few players that we're considering this week. We've got Palmer and Gordon, 3rd and 4th. Andy, big news this week was that Salah, all the people that adopted him early, came off injured last night, signalled to the bench. We think he's probably going to be out. I guess the big question is, who do you go to if you've got Salah in your team?
I mean, the 2 first options straight away in terms of best midfielders to own this week are Wilson and Gordon. I think Gordon's obviously got Sunderland at home, and it's looking like, based on the bookies' odds, that they're most likely to win this week. And obviously Fulham are in second, but Harry Wilson isn't on penalties, which it's tough to know which one you go to out of the 2. There is obviously a price difference. Wilson's only 6, whereas Gordon's 7.3. But if you were pretty certain Salah was going to miss out, which I don't think it is a certainty yet, you would be moving to one of those, I would say. I know Luke mentioned Szoboszlai earlier. It could be that obviously if Salah's out, he's on penalties as well, which would be quite nice as well.
Yeah,
but
true.
I think Wilson and Gordon are definitely the two front runners at the moment.
What do you think of Gordon, Luke? Because he's been a funny player, like in lots of spells this season. He's obviously scored loads of goals in the Champions League. He's been doing better in the league lately. Hal's now come out and said he sees himself as a centre forward. So we think he is now their first choice striker over Visser and Voltemada, which seems crazy given the amount. I mean, over 100 million spent on Voltemada and Visser, and then they decide that Gordon is now their number one striker.
Funny old game, football, isn't it?
Funny old game.
Yeah, I like Gordon. I think I said when we did the triple up a few weeks ago, and we were all deciding which midfielder to buy. I would have gone for Gordon at that point if I had the money and was going to commit the free transfer. I mean, the problem we had earlier in the season, I know it was twofold. He couldn't score a goal for love nor money, but I think that's just happenstance. Like, that happens sometimes. You can't do anything about it. His stats still were pretty good.
He ruined me. He absolutely ruined me, that guy.
It's more about the minutes, wasn't it? He kept coming off on like the 70th minute. You didn't even know if he was going to start. Like, now, those kind of fears look to be allayed. And I think this week there is maybe a teeny bit of doubt just around the whole team in general, because obviously playing in the UCL, it's going to be exhausting, right? I'm not bothered about the result personally. I mean, some people might care that they could ship 7 or whatever, but that plays no sort of mind to me at all. It's more to do with the fact that they've committed a lot of time and energy, right? I mean, I don't doubt they're going to be up for it. It's a derby versus Sunderland, isn't it? And they're home, but you know, how many times have we been here before where you say, oh, they're going to be knackered after midweek, and then they just put in a performance, or you just don't know. So I think you can absorb that information, but I think you kind of dismiss it and you just go, yeah, he's on penalties, he's probably up front, he's probably going to get plus 70 minutes. And I think the other appeal of Gordon over Wilson is, if you're not completely set on doing your wild card in 32, like you want to remain open depending on what's going on to different possibilities, then obviously Newcastle have got a better fixture in 32. Like, Fulham play away to Liverpool, I think it is, which some people might say is a good fixture for Wilson, because they seem to be pretty bad defensively. But I can't remember Newcastle play. Is it Palace? Maybe?
Palace away.
Yeah. So I think if you're looking at, you know, where you're building in some safety net on top of it, when it's that close, I think you could go for Gordon. I actually like Palmer probably the best if you're on Salah, by the way. And in fact, what I like best is actually just benching. It depends on the news, but benching Salah is still a possibility, right? If for some people, if they've got options on the bench, then that might be the best way to do it.
If you've got the opportunity to bench Salah, I hate you.
Some people have got the option to do it.
Oh,
they
my
will
God.
have the option to do it. They'll be benching like Hill and stuff like this week, which they could play. And then, so it depends what news we get on Salah. But otherwise, I think going straight to Palmer, I actually think he just looks so good these last few weeks. You had the attack data on there for Chelsea. It's just remained consistently strong the whole season and the last 6. Like, doesn't matter who the manager is. I think it's just who they are, Chelsea, really. They don't really have any other way to play. And, I just really would like to be able to go to Palmer, because I don't think many people will be able to do it either. So he's quite low.
Again, that's one of the advantages of the World Cup.
Yeah,
right?
I like that for your 31. You can even throw the armband on him as well. So then maybe again he might be doubtful on minutes at some point. I don't know, but I think Palmer is probably. I mean, just the calibre of player as well. I know Anthony Gordon's a good player, Wilson is a good player, but Palmer's on another stratosphere, surely.
On his day, and he's done it.
Yeah,
he's done it half fit against Wolves, and followed up with goals. Like he could just like amble around the pitch and not look fully fit, but like he's playing pretty much every game.
Yeah, he's been looking really good. I think it's just the fixture's worse, right? But Everton at home haven't necessarily been a force.
Yeah. Harry Wilson's on here, Andy. He's 13th, 0.44. I don't have him. I worry about him every week, which sounds stupid for a 6 million owned midfielder, but he's just got that bit about him, isn't he? He's had it all season. He's looked really, really good. 0.44 XGI, non-penalty per 90. Captain this week?
If he had penalties, I think he would be in the shot. It's just because he doesn't have them, it obviously hurts. He's got the best fixture.
Well, you say that, but if Jimenez doesn't start or gets subbed off early, we think it's Wilson next.
But Jimenez, I mean, the thing is, though, if Jimenez doesn't start, he's coming on at some point. So he's only going to have penalties for maximum 60 minutes of the game, probably. And that's if he is on them. Yeah, it's better than none. Obviously, he missed the last game, but then the game 2 games ago, but he did start and play in the last one. So I like Wilson. I've liked Wilson for a while. Obviously, I bought him 5-6 weeks ago. I think he's having one of those seasons like he does, and he's managing to stay fit most of the time. Obviously, I know he missed 1 game. But when he's fit, he does well, and his data always looks good. The problem with him, you could probably say, is that it's those kind of, is it on here, isn't it? Shots in the box, like one shot in the box. It tends to be that his shots are outside of the box, and you're hoping for some of those worldies as well. So that's the thing that probably is a bit tougher with him. Obviously, it's tougher comparing him to Anthony Gordon, Palmer, players like that are getting into the box as well, and those two are on penalties. So personally, I would, if money wasn't an option, I would be putting him below Gordon and probably Palmer this week.
Can't wait to see your rankings. This is
It's
going to be so
the,
fun.
It's the fixture tax, isn't it? It's just the home to Burnley. It's like, that's doing a lot of heavy lifting. I mean, as good as Harry Wilson's been, I don't think he would be in the conversation for a captain if it wasn't for that fixture. It's just clearly that fixture.
Yeah, I mean, over the last 6, Burnley are third from bottom, and they've had good fixtures as well. They're conceding 3 big chances a game, and over the season they're bottom. They're the worst team statistically. So they're going to. I mean, I know they've got the clean sheet against Bournemouth, but they're going to get chances. Fulham, and I would be very surprised if Wilson came away from that with
just
nothing.
Seems to be this thing that I don't even. It's probably just nonsense, but it feels like when you have to rely on a team like a Fulham or a Brighton or and you think, or even a Brentford or something like that, and you think, the game's set up for them. It just feels like they disappoint more often than they should.
I mean,
that's the fear, isn't it? Even though it's nonsense. Like Brentford the other night, when you had Otara and he did well, I thought they were really good. But then suddenly it's 2-2 to Wolves, and it's like, I suppose that the big teams do it as well, though, right? I mean, sometimes, West Ham versus Man City, everyone's expecting them to spank them. Liverpool, I know they rotated versus Spurs. Like everyone lets you down, I suppose. But it just feels instinctively wrong when you're backing like a worse team.
Well, especially because a couple of weeks ago, when Fulham lost to West Ham at home, we were like, well, their season's over. They just got knocked out of the cup. They've lost to West Ham, and then I know they played all right in the last game, but it's still a bit like, well, what have they got to play for? There's nothing left. At least Man U are still very much in this hunt for the top 4. I mean, look at Fernandez's chances created per 90. 5 is double any other player in the league.
I suppose if you believe in that thing, he's going for the assist record, aren't they? And I think there's a chance they can finish second. They probably believe that they might be able to. So
yeah, that's the thing. Do you back Wilson, who's got the fixture, but not really anything to play for? And you're right, it's Fulham. Or do you back arguably the best player in the league this year, great stats, but something to play for? Is a gamble if you go against him. So I can see it. But if you're like me, you probably need to think about rolling the dice. And anyone else here that you want to flag? I mean, obviously we're going to come back to this when we do the rankings and things, but anyone else you want to mention?
No, not massively. Obviously, Szoboszlai is 32nd on this list. So it's always going to be tougher for him because he plays more of a deep line role, and there is always that threat that he could end up playing right back at points as well. Rodgers in 60th.
60th, I know.
I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming he started tonight. I didn't actually see the lineup. I'm assuming he started tonight for Villa.
I'm literally watching it with. I know in my luck, I was thinking if I've held him this long through this many blanks just for 31 because he's got a fixture. If he goes off tonight, I'm going to.
They've got McGinn back, which is probably they've got an actual engine now, so that might help him.
He scored tonight as well, McGinn.
Super McGinn.
Yeah, so Rodgers been in 60th. He's been the worst hold in terms of nobody was ever going to sell him because obviously he played in that bit, but he's just been the worst hold because he's just consistently getting 2 points or 1 point when he gets a bloody yellow card. So yeah, he's been a massive disappointment. Yeah. Obviously you mentioned Tavernier as well. Tavernier is someone we've spoken about quite a few times on this pod. He does have Manchester United, but they do play well against United. The United defensive data is good, but I think
top of the midfielders are 6.
Yeah, it's just probably a tough sell this week when you've got others that have got nice fixtures and most people are wildcard in 32.
Yep, well covered. Defenders. So I haven't got any defenders on the rankings when we do them. I've focused on the midfielders and forwards. I think I mentioned earlier, I think predicting clean sheets is quite tough this week, particularly. I think if you're looking outside Newcastle and you're looking outside Fulham, it's hard to know exactly, like, are you going to take a hit to bring in like a James Hill or even a Van Dijk against Brighton? I think that's a tough game to call. So I think it's tough. I mean, Chow looks good in terms of points per 90. He's down in 19th, but his XGI is decent over the last 6, 0.37 So he's got that goal as well. I was thinking of Lewis Hall. He's 57th. I thought at least Hall was going to have some like decent like underlying numbers. He's 57th for FPL points. His XGI per 90 is 0.08. That's appalling. It's appalling for Hall, isn't it, Luke?
It's not good. It doesn't. I mean, it seems a lot better. At one point, he was taking corners. I don't know if he still is. So there's a bit of a luck factor there where you could just spawn.
He's got a goal in that time as well, but
I like him as a player, but I genuinely don't see any reason to go for him over Chow, because even on just fitness, which would worry me with Lewis Hall. I know he's been pretty much nailed on in the team since November.
Yeah.
I think he missed like one game versus Spurs or something, but I just don't see the need, and he's also more expensive as well. I mean, it's DEFCONs. Chow's data for XG is actually pretty good. I know it's a lot of randomness when it comes to centre backs. He scored quite a few times. You know, if they end up having a double later on as well, and you're not using chips to change things, then you want to go for one of them now. I just think he just makes the most sense. Like, it's the year of the centre backs, isn't it? As much as I like Hall, I just think it's a punt not really required.
Yeah, I think if it was over a prolonged period of weeks, I think it's an absolute no. But like if I was wildcarding, it would be Chow 100%. But I guess, Andy, what you're hoping with a 1 week punt is that Hall can, we've seen him get multiple assists in a game before, haven't we? And deliver, and the data doesn't really mean much if he's just gets a good crossing.
It's really up against wing backs, though, isn't it? Like he's not getting DEFCON. There's more chance of Chow outscoring Lewis Hall, and obviously Chow's also cheaper.
Yeah.
So it's a really tough ask. And like Luke said, I think if I was having to pick a Newcastle defender this week, I don't think I'd go anywhere near Hall. I think I'd just go completely Chow. 100% he's going to play, and he's most likely going to be getting close to DEFCON. I don't think there's really a choice between the two.
Diogo Dalot? Can I interest you in a Diogo Dalot?
Absolutely not.
No.
Okay. Well, his underlying data is not great, 0.12. But his points are decent. He's got an assist, he's got the attacking play. But you two, the United fans, I won't even bother. This is just the table of the season data. I don't think there's a huge amount to report on here. I think it's much more interesting of the last six. A lot of these players we're not really considering. One player I do want to give a shout out to, though, is Lewis Potter, because I think he is absolutely incredible. I watched that Brentford Wolves game, and I just think the Coyote and Lewis Potter. I mean, what a combination of fullbacks they've got in that side. They're flying high in the league, and well done to them. But I can't see them keeping hold of those two for much longer. I just think they're just absolutely elite fullbacks. That cross from Lewis Potter. Oh.
It's just minutes for Potter, isn't it? That's the problem. Yeah. Coyote's amazing. I genuinely love him, and I've talked about him a lot this year. Not for FPL, just in general. But I just think it's minutes for Potter. Wasn't there was it in a free hit or something like that where someone went Lewis Potter and he got his brace?
It was Spaceman, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
That was in the free hit week, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he had potential, because is he not listed as a defender? He is listed as a defender.
Yeah,
obviously. You're showing defenders.
Yeah. He's playing on the wing.
Yeah, so you have potential for him to be one of the greatest picks ever if he stayed left wing, and his data kept improving and he's getting goals and assists, and he's in a very attacking Brentford pick. He's super cheap, but yeah, it's just the minutes, like Andy says, and it just hasn't really fallen that way where he's ended up being a particularly relevant pick. I don't know what his total points are, but I don't think he's particularly near the top. So it's a bit of a surprise.
Well, I mean, the thing is, he's of defenders over the season, his FPL points per 90 is second highest in the league, second to Gabriel. So when he plays, he delivers, because he gets attacking returns. They're keeping the clean sheets. It's obviously just about those minutes. I think when we're thinking about next year and we're looking at all the centre backs again, it's like, well, which players do we think could potentially break up the template a little bit? And you're looking at Munoz, you're looking at Lewis Potter. You're looking at Reece James hopefully getting fit and having a bit of a prolonged run.
Andy's just shaking his head.
They're all wing backs, Luke. They're all wing backs.
But that's my point. They're the only.
Yeah, but presumably
they're
going to price it differently, aren't they?
Yeah.
I imagine centre backs are going to be a lot more expensive than fullbacks if they keep it exactly the same as this. So
Dorgu as well. Like if he can get that kicker. Look, these are the attacking defenders that we just haven't had this season because of minutes and injuries and whatever, and we need them next year.
Their whole mantra was to try and make more players viable. So the only way you do that if they keep the same system and they base it. I mean, they clearly did it this season where they based the data from last season, didn't they? And they didn't expect the amount of DEFCONs that we got this season. They couldn't foresee that the league would be like this. But they're going to do similar this time, right? So you're right. Like they're going to be they have to be cheap for them to be even considered as options. So you could end up with a load of them cheap. I still don't think a lot of us will go there. We'll look for the next guy they misprice at 4.5 who's a centre back. But it's nice to dream, I guess.
It's not the best comparison because obviously Collins has been in and out of the team for a while. But say Lewis Potter is nailed on and starting and playing really attacking. You've got Lewis Potter at 4.5 and you've got Collins at 5.5. Like there's a decision.
But it's the whole say you've just invented a scenario that doesn't exist. Like you'd have to wait, wouldn't you? It would be like,
but
my point is
if you've got a fullback, an attacking fullback at 4.5, and you've got the DEFCON monsters at 5.5, you need.
It's going to be a 1 mil difference.
Well, I think there probably should be, right?
So, for instance, will James Hill be 5 million and Truefair 4.5 next year?
It has to be.
Surely they don't place him at 5.5.
Well, they might do. They're so good, aren't they? They're still better than every 5.5 midfielder in the game.
This season. this season.
True, but they base it on the last season, don't they?
Well, Senesi's going to be 5.5, I'd imagine.
He won't be there, though, will he?
Well, no, true. Well, then then Hill's got to be. Not Lewis Hill.
If they want to force decisions,
James Lewis Hill.
Yeah. If they want to force decisions, they probably have to make it more than 0.5. That's the thing.
That's it. That's my point. That's what I mean.
Because you're just not going to do it, are you, Andy?
Because what they did,
I don't know.
The error was like Gahey was 4.5 and Munoz was 5.5. Make Munoz 4.5, make Gahey 5.5. That's
mad.
But
that's
mad. He won't be 4.5.
I know he won't. But my point is,
Truefair and Hill, I think, is a good comparison because I don't think you can make Hill 5.5. Because I think it's just. But I know what Luke said. Obviously, it's based on this. But this season is the most defensive and worst attacking season we've seen in so long. And we could change that all, and then next season's again attacking, and it just changes it again completely, doesn't it?
They might change the scoring anyway. It's a pointless convo, isn't it? I suppose we'll have to wait and see.
I think 4.5.
No, it's good conversation. It's good conversation.
4.5 for Trough and 5 for Hill would I think even now would be something that you would consider, right?
Which one? 4.5 and 5.
Tarkowski started the season as 5.5, didn't he?
But I mean, Lacroix was 5, wasn't he? And
all the DEFCON guys. Murillo was like top DEFCON. He was 5.5 as well.
5,
so
5.
James Hill is smashing out the DEFCONs and getting clean sheets. Maybe he will be 5.5.
I think Hill at 5 and Trough at 4.5 would be a debate.
If Iraola's still there, their centre backs will keep getting DEFCON because of the way they play. So I suppose maybe he will be 5.5. It was a good investment from me at 3.9 anyway.
He was. I should have if I'd just done Goodmanson to Hill, you would have said, oh, what a pointless transfer as, and that probably would have been about 30 points. Too. Forwards over the last 6, we've got Pedro right at the top of this list, XG upper 90, 1.05, still flying high, or did blank in the last game. Thiago second, 0.71. Gyökeres, will he be a factor for us between now and the end of the season? Probably not, but his data's not bad, 0.64. And Ekatike just behind him at 0.61. I wanted to flag Watkins on this list. What the hell is going on with him? He is rock bottom of forward over the last 6. He has an XGI per 90 of 0.14.
Do you remember in pre-season?
I do.
How good he was, how everyone wanted him, how his fixtures were great, how you're stupid for not having him.
I know.
Sometimes it's, just funny, isn't it? I mean, he's just totally not an option, is he? Even this week where it's like, if you were going to bring in a forward for Haaland because you're wildcarding in 32, so it's a one-week punt, the fixture looks pretty good on paper, but you just don't know what minutes he's going to get. It doesn't look like he's performing well at all. I think he got 60 tonight, maybe, or 30. I just don't know which way around it was, but just a non-FPL pick, unfortunately.
Crazy. And Andy, we were all saying at the start, we all had him, didn't we? We all had him at the start of the season. He was one of the first names on the team sheet. Yeah,
I know. Yeah, it's a shame because obviously last year, I for some reason it came up on my timeline again. When they were asking the players why should they buy you, and it had like Haaland, Watkins, Salah, and Watkins was like, I get points every year, I always get goals and things like that. And you just think this year it's just changed massively. I mean, Rodgers was the centrepiece for ages, wasn't he? And now he's not even doing anything. But we've said about Villa's drop off with Tielemans being out, obviously. So yeah, it's a shame because we're just losing premium players, though, aren't we? That's the thing. And it is. You're looking at these strikers, and it's not really showing.
It would have been a lot more interesting this season if Watkins had been an option, because trying to fit him around, when Bruno came in and you had Haaland and all of that, just would have been. Yeah, I think this season's just been. I think next year, hopefully, we get a few more 9s and 10s that are delivering, just make it a bit more interesting.
Well, I think going back to the conversation about pricing and stuff, if if they don't change the scoring in any way for forwards, they just need to bring the prices down, even at the beginning for forwards in general. Because even at the beginning of the season, we're saying like forwards aren't worth it. Like none of them, all the models were picking 4-5-1 for a reason.
Yeah, I know.
5-4-1.
It was just like Strand Larson, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you're always going to get
Yeah.
like a Thiago or one or two strikers that end up having an absolute worldie of the season, and they get like 10 penalties or whatever. That seems to always happen, but. There's just like a dearth of options, and even at the beginning of the season, like before we have this information, you look at it and go, I don't want any striker between like 5.5 and 12 million. Like they're just too much if they don't have penalties and they don't play 90 minutes. It's just like they need to do more to help strikers in the game, in my opinion.
Yep, I completely agree. Bowen, he is one that someone in the chat said he might be reclassified back to a midfielder. I mean, maybe he hasn't been playing much as a.
He's been playing wing, hasn't he?
Yeah,
so
been playing on the wing.
Forward, yeah, probably.
So he'd be fun to have him back as a midfielder. He's over the last 6. He's in 11th over forwards, 0.38. It's not bad. 4 assists, no goals. Over the season, he's really low. I think he's. I don't think he's in the top 20. He's not on that list, is he? No, not even the top 20. So his XG number 90 is lower than 0.32. I remember him being particularly low in this. So yeah, I mean he's one of those ones where if you're looking at the stats, it's not always great, but he does seem to find a way to deliver. And I agree with you. I think against Villa, he's a good pick.
Can I just ask you, as Danny Welbeck, who might end up being part of our teams because they double.
Not many other players. Yeah.
Do you think he'll actually play 2 games if they have a double game week? Can he even do that?
I don't think there's a lot of faith in our other options. So I think in terms of faith, yes. Can his body physically play 2 games in a row? That one's a bit more debatable. He didn't start our last game, did he? He came on. So
it's just having any faith in, because you obviously wildcard. If you're following the normal strategy, 32, and then you're using your bench boost the next week. So even that 1 week of picking him in your team and then having him available for 2 is scary enough.
I wouldn't go for him. I think the problem is that we haven't got anything to play for. Like, we're not going to push for Europe. We're not going to get relegated. I'd say in the next 2 or 3 games, our season is going to be done. And then why would you force a 35-year-old Danny Welbeck to play every minute when you've got an 18-year-old that you want to blood into the team? You've got Rute who needs minutes. I just can't see it. Like, there's no reason to. We're a better team with him, but there's no reason to. Well, like, imagine if we played him back to back and he got an injury and he was out for a year. It's be gutted, wouldn't he? He's just signed a new contract and everything. So no, I don't think so personally. But
fair enough. Yep.
Right. I think it's the time everyone's been waiting for. I mean, no one's mentioned it in the chat, but I assume that's because they're just so excited. Let's do a bit of a blind ranking. I've got some players. I'm going to give you their name. I mean, you can see them when they come on. And we've got a list of 1 to 15, and I just want you to tell me where you put
positions.
Them. It's midfielders and forwards.
Okay.
And it's
There's
priority
a name
transfers.
I'm hoping for here that's going to come out. I've no idea whether you picked it, and
okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you afterwards whether you got it or not.
Okay. Midfielders and forwards, 15 players. You tell me where you want to put them. You can't change them during the little fun game that we're having, but I will let you shift them around at the end. And it's for game week 31 only, so it's transfers for game week 31. Obviously, if you want them for longer than that, because you're not going to wildcard in 32, that's just a bit of a bonus. But we're talking purely points scored in 31. Thank you, Yelena. Blind ranking times. It's nice to have someone.
Only for 31?
That's a big side. Yeah, only for 31.
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah. Okay, we'll start with Anthony Gordon then. Talks about him quite a lot today. Seems like you're both quite keen.
Andy, we're going to have to discuss it, are we?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, I would put him quite high. Obviously,
I'll give you a minute.
Nice
for
fixture.
I don't think we'll need that long.
No, okay, you have 30 seconds.
I'm happy with. Go on.
I was going to say 2 or 3.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. You can pick.
Let's put him as 2.
We're anticipating Bruno's coming, right? So that's one of them.
Maybe not.
Oh, Florian.
You're going 2, are you?
Florian. Okay. People are going lower in the chat for Gordon. 4s and 5s, 3rds.
Brighton away. What's his minutes, do you reckon?
Sunderland aren't Barcelona.
No, well, not now anyway. They were at the start of the season.
He was fantastic the other night, by the way, but I thought he was very, very good again.
With Coffee's Knob. Oh, there is someone in the chat called Coffee's Knob. That makes so much more sense. Just seeing this comment out of context.
Yeah, he came up the other day, yeah. I think it's, Coffee Snob, not what I thought it was going to be the other day.
It's not Coffee's Knob.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. What do we reckon about Wirtz then, Luke? I said second for Gordon. You say where you think you pick Wirtz, and I'll
I need an
agree
answer.
or disagree.
Oh, you've already. Oh, is that the ding?
The sting.
We spent it all on coffee
seven,
snob.
It's
7.
7, go for it then.
7. Okay. You see, I can resize, so it's not too big. We've got Dango.
That's what coffee's not.
Dango Atara. My boy.
Leads away.
My 8-point boy.
He was so good the other night.
I thought he was that touch for Thiago's goal. Oh, he's a
Dango's
really
great
good
as well.
player, Dango. I really like him.
Yeah, absolutely.
5.
And it's literally just
6?
for this week. Yeah.
Just for this week.
Yeah, I'll go with Andy. Yeah, 5.
5. That is a lot
he's up
higher.
there.
That's a lot higher than I
I
thought.
don't know who else has got. Who's coming? Do we?
You're gonna put it?
No, you've got some absolute shockers in here.
Thiago. Have you known him?
Oh, maybe we've put a target too high.
I think you've definitely gone too high with Dango.
I forgot the forwards were in it.
Yeah, you've definitely gone too high with Dango. But, it's fine. You can't change it now. But
Well, should we? I mean, Thiago's better than Dango.
Yeah, but we can't go above now, can we? Because we've left too fewer spaces.
Oh God! Just
This
put him in
is-
6.
this is
man.
great content.
Put him in 6. Put him in 6.
Really? Okay.
in 6. Okay.
We can't put Tango 5 and then put Thiago like below Wirtz.
Do whatever we want. Who gives a shit?
Oh, here we go. Here's Elliot Anderson.
That's the real, attention to detail,
He's-
Luke, that I have you ready for.
See, now if this did include other weeks, I know this is not what you want in this game right now, but Elliot Anderson is still just a really good buy this week for multiple chip strategies.
He's really good for 33 as well, isn't he?
Would you
Who's
buy
he
him this
got?
week?
Burnley
though?
at
If you're
home.
wildcarding next week, would you buy him this week?
No.
Probably not. So, what, 10, 11?
Oh, I think lower than that.
Oh, I don't know. Has he got
For
this
just
is ours. Has he
this
not
week?
got shockers on this list?
Oh,
Put
do
him
you reckon?
13th.
Yeah.
Put him 13th.
Bloody, if a Wobie comes up, yeah, put him 13th, because he's going to get DEFCON most likely, isn't he?
My boy Elliot, I feel terrible doing that.
13. Brian and Boomo. Playing up front for
Versus
Man U.
Bournemouth. Well,
Versus
maybe.
He's
Maybe playing up
struggled
front.
recently, mine.
What, 8, 9?
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah, should we go 9th?
Yeah, go on then.
9. Who are you going to put in 15th?
What do you think Mbumo should have been 15th?
I think he should have been lower than 9, personally. But who am I to judge? I think
Exactly.
you're going to see some of these players and think you've probably gone a bit high, but we'll see. My love, my pain, my everything. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is next. Home game against Brentford.
Is he off pens now?
Is he?
Who else can take him?
Well, he missed. didn't he?
Strauch, is he playing?
No, it's what's his name? Oh, it's totally escaped me. The other forward who's back fit.
Okafor.
I don't think it's even him. Chat, remind me. Nemencha?
Oh, Nemencha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he might be on them anyway.
I'm trying to think who would be worse than Anderson this week that Az would have picked. I mean, has he picked Barco? Because we can put him 15th.
He scored for Strasbourg tonight. He's going to sign for Chelsea and he's going to win. He's going to be team of the year, and that will be my vindication. And then I'll never watch football again. That's my plan.
12th.
Yeah, I was going to say just above Anderson. I don't think he's worse than Anderson this week. 'Cause he's still going to start, isn't he? So,
12th.
It's a decent game.
oh, Richarlison.
Richarlison, the pigeon himself. I'm having
I
a
don't
lot
think
of
he's
fun
actually
doing
that-
this, by the way. This is great.
I don't think he's actually that bad this week, Richarlison.
I just hate him so much.
Oh God! I think with Richard, you could go really high or really low with this one because it's a good fixture, like big game.
It's because he's got like a 57th minute sub in his locker with doing nothing. And
He's a big
card
game.
and-
He's a big. He loves a relegation. Do you remember about Everton when they were in that relegation
I
battle
know,
and he
I know.
just stepped up and he just absolutely
Do you
smashed
like?
it.
Do you like how we've got 2 10s, by the way?
Oh yeah.
Got 3 10s on this stream.
Hey,
Good spot.
I reckon 8th or 10th, and I think 10th is kind of staring at me more than 8th.
I'll go 11th, but 10th is fine.
10th, nice in the middle. Jared.
So who do we think 1, 3, 4? There's got to be Bruno. I'm hoping he's got Palmer as well, so I wanted to slip him in. Who
Harry
else is-
Wilson.
and Harry
Slip
Wilson.
it in him.
Okay, so I didn't say that.
That's why.
From 1 to 15, I give him 1.
8th. It's got to be 8th, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh God, who are we gonna end up putting in 15th?
You going to get eighth for Bone.
Yeah.
Go on.
Tavernier,
Yeah, 11th.
Yeah.
the top XGI player.
I love him, but
Yeah.
we're anticipating those 3 come in, and if they don't,
Okay, 11th.
Oh, here is your boy.
Here he is Cole.
I want to put him 1, but I think I'll default to Andy on this because he's.
Yeah, I think 3rd because then we got Wilson 4th and Bruno 1, haven't we?
You've gone very high with Tavernier at 11th. Who are you going to put at
Really?
14th or 15th?
Well, we don't know who's coming, do we? This is impossible.
That's why it's fun. Where do you want Palmer?
Could be a Langer. 3rd.
3rd. That's funny.
Rogers. Oh, there we go.
Morgan.
Oh God.
14th or
14th.
15th. Yeah.
How crazy is that? If I'd said to you 2 months ago that you'd be putting Rodgers at home to West Ham, like below some of these players, 5 below Richarlison.
In a blind ranking.
Yeah. You want him 15th?
Yeah, 14th.
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 Dominic.
Oh, no.
Oh, we've screwed up, haven't we?
Dominic Szoboszlai. He's got to be 1st, 4th, or 15th.
Well, he's got to be 4th.
Well,
now,
Wilson,
so Harry
Wilson and
Wilson's
Bruno are going to be there.
Harry Wilson's going 15th at this rate if he's on the list, isn't he? He's got to go for. He's got.
We can't put Wilson. We can't put Wilson 15th. Szoboszlai.
Put him 15th. Put him 15th then. You're taking a punt, the Wilson.
You wait. Az is sat there going, "Oh God, I completely forgot about Bruno."
He literally might be my transfer this week, and I'm going to stick him 15th.
You put Szoboszlai. You're putting Szoboszlai 15th.
Well, if Bruno
Yes.
and Wilson are coming, what other choice have we got?
Okay.
Pedro?
João Pedro.
What? Where's Wilson?
4th.
Oh, Pedro's got to go 4th.
Pedro 4th.
Yeah.
Got to be.
That means you've got.
Oh,
Wilson.
there's no Bruno.
Oh,
There's no Bruno.
mate.
Christ's sake.
I think that's pretty good overall, though.
There's
I'm
no
not-
Bruno because I don't think people are debating bringing him in this week, right? It's just everyone's got him, and probably most people are going to captain
I
him.
didn't realise
He
this is who to bring in. He just says ranking players.
Well, it's the same thing. Bruno's not there.
Twist the rules on his hand.
Bruno's not there.
I think apart from Szoboszlai, that's not
Yeah.
too bad for a blank pick.
Considering.
I think you've done all right. I think you've gone a bit high with Tavernier and Mbumo probably, but other than that, I think it's pretty good. I mean, who do you want to move around?
I'd have Tavernier higher than that. I still think he's good.
Well, now's your chance. Who do you
Who do we want to move around? Definitely Szoboszlai up higher. He can't be 15th.
And let's know in the chat what you make of their efforts in the blind ranking. I think it was the right call not to include Bruno, but yeah, Bruno is 0, says Vegeta. Exactly.
I don't think we need to move any around. It's fine. It's fine.
You're going to leave Szoboszlai 15th after literally bigging him up for the
I'd
entire
put
stream.
Szoboszlai maybe where Wirtz is.
Okay. Yeah.
And then, what do you think? Move Atara down
Yeah.
somewhere. I don't know where.
Can we take these two out? Anyone else that you think is just obviously in the wrong position?
I'd probably put Elliot Anderson in 15th now.
I'd probably put Rodgers in 15th. Yeah, those two.
And
Maybe
move Richarlison down.
Move Richarlison to like 11th.
Yep.
This is going to get messy, isn't it? Calvert-Lewin down
Yeah.
1.
Yep.
And then I probably didn't even need to do that. I don't know.
Come on, lad, you're nearly there.
It's all right. Just stick Dango in 5th, Wirtz in 10th, and Tavernier in 12th, and we can just call it a day.
Yeah,
Because
we can all go
people
home.
are loving this. Yeah, exactly. There you
Tavernier's
go.
Definitely higher than that.
It's only you two getting flustered. I think we need to. I'm not leaving until we are all happy with this list because this is key for people who are checking out this stream and are making transfers. This list needs to be right. So, are we saying that we're happy with this? Any issues?
Yes. No,
Yeah.
looks good.
Thiago above
Yeah.
Atara, but otherwise, yeah.
A few people want Rodgers and Anderson switch round, so I'm going to do that. And then
Oh, cool. We're taking the audience audience views. That's cool.
Well, you've
That's
given
fine.
up. You do what you always do and get bored and antsy before we've actually finished.
Thiago above. Switch him round with Atara.
Thank you, Luke.
And I'd probably have Szoboszlai above Atara as well, but because he's set pieces and penalties, isn't it?
Actually, yeah. If we could then swap Pedro down with Bowen and swap Bowen with Mbumo, and then maybe Calvert-Lewin with us. Yeah.
As like a school teacher. See, I've been learning from you, Andy. I've been learning.
God.
I would say that's pretty. I would say that's pretty good.
Did any of you anticipate that Harry Wilson would be number one at any point when the season started on a list like this?
No, I didn't think he'd play. I didn't think he'd start. He's barely featured in previous season, hasn't he? Yeah. So this is the final list for anyone listening on the pod. The lads have put Wilson at the top, then Gordon, then Palmer, then Pedro, then Thiago, then Szoboszlai, then Otara, Bowen, Mbumo, Wirtz, Richarlison, Tavernier, Calvert-Lewin, Elliot Anderson, Morgan Rogers. Morgan Rogers, bottom in 15th. Wow. Lovely stuff. Well done. Thank you for persevering. I don't think we lost any viewers. In fact, we gained some. So I'm going to say that was a roaring success. Let's take a look at some fixtures that are coming. Andy and I obviously predicting these each week. Luke doing them when he can be asked, which isn't very often, to be honest. Bournemouth Man United is the Friday deadline. Don't miss the deadline tomorrow at 6:30. We've both gone for a 2-1 here. Andy, Luke, you confident in a Man United win?
Never. I'm always a pessimist.
Good.
But yeah, hopefully.
Well, that's nice. You're going to go for a win there. I'm going for a Brighton win against Liverpool. There you go. I said it. I think we can. I think they've had they haven't had that taxing time, have they? They pretty much demolished Galatasaray, but I think they're going to find it tough at the Amex. So I've gone for a 2-1. You've gone the other way, Andy, for a 2-1 to Liverpool. You think that's going to be pretty routine? Is that just because you've got Szoboszlai? You think he's going to score?
Oh yeah, I've got to hope for some points from my triple Liverpool. No, I just think it's one of those ones, isn't it, where I say to you, as soon as I start thinking that Brighton might not win a game, they tend to turn up. So maybe I should have gone for 2-1 Brighton, but yeah, no, I've gone for the away win.
Liverpool will trounce Brighton, says Dom Dewsbury. Honestly, it's like people try to hurt me on this stream. Fulham Burnley 2-0. Routine. Both of us have gone for that. Surely something for Wilson. Surely something for Anderson, if you've got him as well. Fulham winning, Luke.
Yeah, I'm not confident in the clean sheet, but they're definitely like one of the favourites. I think Tete is quite a popular transfer in this week as a defender as well. Yep.
And Bassi. I've seen people bringing Bassi as well.
Yeah, I don't know if he's as nailed, but he's better for Defcon, isn't he? So I get it. It just feels very 1 weekish, doesn't it?
Yep. Man City Palace, that was still on the list when we did these. We'll keep that prediction. We'll lock that one in, Andy. We can't change it even when it gets rearranged. Everton Chelsea, we've gone different here. We you know what? We're very close in the ranks, and it looks like quite a pivotal week for us because we have got a couple of different ones. Everton Chelsea, I've gone for a 1-0 Chelsea. You've gone for a 1-0 Everton.
Yeah, Everton aren't great at home either, but I've gone for it. Just Chelsea are just a bit of a wild place at the moment, aren't they? And this whole thing about a rat, and obviously Rosinia's just seems to be unravelling as the weeks go by. So yeah, I've gone away from home. I've gone for an Everton win.
Do you reckon he survives the season, Luke, Rosinia?
I've got no clue. It's not with Chelsea chairman. You never know, do you? Probably not. I think. I hope that Chelsea would just spank them, to be honest. I still really like Palmer. I just feel like they're so open. The game could be crazy, but...
Well, we don't want him spanking if we got Tarkowski and he makes it through. We want a nice 1-0.
I'd give me my Defcons. I'm happy.
You're a simple man. Simple man with simple asks. Leeds Brentford. Andy, you and I have both gone for a 2-1 Brentford here. Brentford are a funny team. They have not been great for a while. They need to win if they've got any hope of getting into Europe this season. I think if they lose this, that'll be it. That'll be curtains. So not an easy game. It would be a good
win. But we're both predicting it, yeah.
Yeah, that's the 8 p.m. On Saturday. Newcastle Sunderland. Now this is a big game. I've gone for a 2-0 to Newcastle just based on form and stats of Sunderland. But you never know. It could be anything. You've gone for a 2-1. Luke, how you calling the derby?
Yeah. Home win looks to be the favoured thing, doesn't it? You never know, like you say, but you got to go with the data and back a home win, I think.
Yep. Aston Villa West Ham is on Sunday. Andy and I both gone for a 2-1. I think Bowen gets something from this. God, Villa have been so poor, so poor lately. Their season is completely unravelling. I know, Luke, you said Bowen's going to score. I'm guessing you're gonna go similar, right? 2-1 home win.
I don't know if he'll score, but he's good to have, isn't he? With penalties and DEFCONs and the whole works, he's one of the rare good forwards. Just wanted to highlight that on review and other models, presumably, Morgan Rogers is like the 6th highest predicted attacker this week.
And you
saw
put him
someone in the chat mention
15th.
Yeah, I knew that before I was doing it as well. I just have exactly what he said. No faith. No faith. I would love to see it.
Luke going against the models, Andy. There's been a few.
Well, I'm not.
signs.
He's in my team, isn't he? I'm still doing it despite my better judgment.
You're talking. You're doing you're talking like a human. It's strange. And then the final game is the biggest game of Spurs' history. Yeah. Sam's words, not mine. It's also the Sam Bonfield, Mark Southern's crucial. Like, I'd love to get them both on like a watch along or something, but I know Sam's going to the game. Mark go? He's in London, maybe. You've gone for a Spurs win, 2-1. I've gone for a Forest. I've gone for a Forest win. Don't tell Sam.
I'm quite confident for Spurs winning this one, to be honest. I think this will be. Everybody wants to jump on the story of them getting relegated. I think they'll win this, and I think they'll be fine still.
They got a few players back, didn't they? Which I think will be key. I think Doggy and Bergvall came back.
And Simons was bloody good midweek.
I don't know why he isn't.
If they could get him.
Yeah,
I think he's got one foot out the door. Probably that's probably why. But yeah, I think they'll win the game. Yeah.
The problem with Forest is they play well. I was watching them in their last game. I thought they played really well, but they just can't score. They just cannot get the ball in the net. They play good football. They get the ball. Like, they've got good players around, but you just never feel like they're going to score. And yeah, it'll be a close game. How are you calling that one, Luke?
I think it's just a really hard game to call full stop, isn't it? It'd be one of the more interesting games, I mean, for the obvious reason of who gets relegated, but also just because Tottenham have got a lot of their players back. They've obviously just had Europe. I just think it's going to be a really, really interesting game of football.
It's going to be a terrible game of football, but it's going to be an interesting game of football.
Because Forest are just really good, like you say. They really are a pretty good team. They just can't score.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that one. It's going to be a good game. Andy, I don't know if you've seen the standings, but there are 4 points between us. I think you're falling down though. You're now 9 points behind Hesmo, who's going to win it again.
I've fallen down, but I haven't. I've actually got closer to Hesmo. I think he's fallen down as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm only 9 points away now, which I think I'm not too bad. So you've caught up massively.
Yeah, I've had a good couple of weeks. I've been restoring a bit of dignity. Hesmo's still top, 206. Jobalob in second, joint with Actor Jeff. Silver and gold in fourth, and FPL mode. Yourself in fifth, Tom in sixth, me in seventh. Mercurial Squid. I've overtaken him. He's in eighth. Richard M in ninth, and Doy in 10th. Got loads of cool things on the Patreon now. Don't know if you've seen the new game we've added, which is like a last man standing type fixture prediction. Get 3 lives, predict a team each week. Can't use them again. We've got goal scorer challenge over on the Patreon now as well. So you pick a player. If they score a goal, they get points. And we obviously got the predictions as well. So we've also got things like AI coming over to the site, and like an AI transfer helper. We've got the spreadsheet is now live on the Patreon as well. So if you've followed all my mad, when I was literally having a breakdown, I think midway through the season, I created that transfer spreadsheet. That's now available to people.
Which breakdown was that?
One of many. One of many. At least that one led to something relatively useful. Not that it's helped my season too much, but yeah, if you want to sense check your transfers. But yeah, I think, and again in pre-season, we're going to really push on that. I want that Patreon site to be something like an actual useful resource of different games and tools and things. So do check it out if you haven't already. Let's take a look at our teams. Luke, let's come to yours first. Your team looks a bit of a wreck, but you've at least got the transfers to sort it out.
Yeah, I really don't want to use them though. I really, really need Tarkowski to be fit. And as you already said we just don't get lucky, do we? So I just can't see it.
He's on the Everton website as being injured, and Branthwaite isn't, and that worries me.
Okay, right.
Do you think Moyes will deep dive in that is?
Do you think Moyes will be straight with it? Because he was asked, wasn't he, about him, and he was like, "I've got nothing to say about it." Oh, cheers. Like literally, like not even a slight hint as to what. I think people even speculated it could be like a disciplinary issue rather than sort of the way he spoke about it.
God, I hope so. Just put him back in the team. I
don't
want my
think it
2
will be
points, maybe 4 with DEFCON. That's it. Just one more week, Talk. Come on.
I think I suppose the way I'm going to play it is if he says, "Oh, he's got a chance," I'm probably going to chance it.
Yeah,
And if I end up with 10 players, then I end up with 10 players.
That's exactly what I'm doing as well.
Yeah, if he says he's out, then I'm definitely going to make a move. Yeah, for the pod, I guess. So I've got Dubravka in goal, Anderson, Tarkowski, and Virgil on the back line. I've got the 4 of the 5 midfielders who just don't do points in Ndai, Enzo, Bruno Fernandes, Rice, and Rodgers. God, that has been a shocking hold for so many weeks.
One good player in there. Yeah.
I'm surviving off my defenders. Like,
How are you like 120 points ahead of me when none of those players have got any points in the last 7 weeks?
Literally none.
Wow.
Yeah, Thiago and Haaland, who's not even going to play, up front in my team at the moment, and then I've got Gabriel, O'Reilly, and Mark Gui on the bench, and Raya, so they're not going to play either. So how many players total? Forget the goalkeeper because I've got one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You've got 9.
So yeah, I'm 5 players down, potentially 6 if Tarkowski doesn't play, but I've got 4 free transfers.
Yeah.
So it's just how many I want to commit this week. Ideally, I just want to use 2, and I think Rice will almost certainly be coming out, and I almost want to go Gordon just because I want to build in that little bit of extra security. Like, it terrifies me not having Wilson, and I think he probably might be the better pick this week, but it's that 32 where if I don't wildcard, at least Gordon's got a better game. So I'm kind of edging Gordon at the moment, but I'm not sure on that.
Edging and Gordon? That's
wow.
I can't think of anything worse to do to that man. What is it with you and edging today, Az?
Me? You're the one that keeps mentioning it, mate. God, don't turn this around on me. God.
Andy's perked up as well.
Yeah, of course he has.
Get a room, boys.
Haaland, I might move out. I mean, before I was considering keeping because the game could have fallen in 31 or 32, right, for Man City. But now we know as of tonight that's not going to happen. So I guess, again, like I could do something spicy, like bring in Raul Jimenez for like a 1 week on penalties, probably play like 60, 70 minutes. No one's going to own him and like maybe just hope I get lucky because if I'm going to wildcard 32. But I think the more sensible option would be to go Bowen. So that's kind of where I am. And then, yeah, if Tarkowski's out, I'm probably going to bring in Chow, I guess. I guess that's the obvious pick. It's kind of boring, but...
I mean, your team's interesting, at least. At least you've still got Enzo and Ndai, which not too many people have.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty well projected. Ndai and Rodgers are projected pretty well this week. Ndai's like way higher than I thought he would be. So... yeah, I suppose I can hang on to the fact that on paper my team looks good.
But Jesus, getting Gaul into that midfield must be a thing about enjoying pain. Bruno and Blankers, it's true, isn't it?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, it's very true. I like this from Fran as well. Next time Bullet pulls up the old quote about getting players who play minutes, I'll show them Luke's midfield. They all play the minutes. They just don't get the points.
Yeah, yep. So this is the thing with me. If I commit to the analytical way and sort of, I mean, all these picks were analytical picks, like for the last 6 or 7 weeks. I just managed to find the ones that don't do points.
Yeah,
I don't know how. And if I go crazy and pick like the player, I'll get Cheque in because he's looking really good. That'll be terrible as well. Yeah. Yep. So don't know what to say. I think I'll bring those 3 in anyway. That's looking most likely.
Yeah, we're cursed. Someone who isn't cursed this season, at least, is Andy. Absolutely smashing it, particularly the last 6-7 weeks. Gone from what, 1 million to 200k. Absolutely flying.
Yeah.
Talk us through your Timo-wise one.
Yeah, no, I like my team this week. I've got Dubravka in goal, Van Dijk, Hill and Anderson at the back with Rodgers, Anderson, Szoboszlai, Bruno Fernandes as my bus captain with Wilson as well. And then I got Ekitike and Thiago up top. I got Mukiele on the bench who I'm hoping will be fit. So I've got some kind of bench cover, which sounds quite nice in this blank game week. And then Raya, Haaland and Gabriel on the bench. I don't really want to get rid of any of those because I want to keep the value I've got in them ready for wildcard in 32. I'm most likely going to roll this week.
I hate you so much.
I know. I don't have any Newcastle. That's the only thing that's slightly worrying. But it's still a derby. Like, it could be a bit fiery. There could be a few goals. Like, I'm not that enamoured by the fact they're going to keep a clean sheet. I know Sunderland, data is not great. I've seen loads of stuff that's saying Newcastle are going to absolutely thrash them because they got knocked out and because they're going to be up for it because it's a derby. But Sunderland are going to be as well. So I think that game could go either way. I expect Newcastle to win, but I don't think it's essential I get Newcastle in. And I like the idea of having a free transfer, an extra one before the wildcard. I want to try and go into the wildcard with 2 free transfers. So, yeah. So I'm most likely going to roll.
It's a definite roll all day.
Well, I won't be rolling.
just huffing and stretching for both of you. Look at this. Here we go.
Yeah, so Kelleher and the Goodmanson red card is just an absolute killer. To get that and the Tarkowski injury is a joke, to be honest. Goodmanson with the red, Virgil, Tarkowski, Anderson, Fernandez, Dewsbury Hall, Dango, Thiago, Ekatike. They're my players. So I've got 8. Is that 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, yeah, 8. I've got 8 players if Goodmanson and Tarkowski are out.
At least you've got 2 playing keepers, mate.
Can I just stick one of them in? Stick one of them up front. I think the plan is, so I can do Goodmanson and Rice to Wilson and Chow for a -4. That seems quite nice. I'll probably captain Wilson as well, just because why not? And just hope he goes nuclear against Burnley and hope Fernandez blanks, which is probably quite unlikely, but I feel like I've got to do something. If Tarkowski's out as well,
you still have 10 men.
I think I will. I think I'll wildcard.
Okay.
Genuinely, I think I'll just do it because I don't want to be playing with 10 men and I don't want to take a -8. So I don't want to use the free hit. So I haven't really got many options.
Oh yeah, I think free hit's the wrong option in yours because you're only going to, I don't think free hit's the right option.
I mean, the thing is, if Tarkowski's out, to be fair, I know the centre backs played quite well for Everton in the last game. It was O'Brien and Keane, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They played well, but you've got to think, like, if you're looking at that and their 2 first choice centre backs are injured, then you've got to think that's going to buoy Chelsea on a little bit. And I do quite like the idea of having all these Chelsea players. Not that they're going to do anything, but at least I'm getting them in a little bit ahead of when everyone else is going to bring them in. And like I presented earlier, I don't think there's going to be a huge amount of difference in the team that I have compared to others, as long as there isn't some crazy upset with Chelsea getting knocked out to Port Vale, which I think is very, very unlikely.
So if Moyes says that Tarkowski's like touch and go or something like that,
I'll risk it.
So you're going to take the hit?
I'll risk it. If Moyes says he's touch and go, I'll risk it and I'll just play him and just accept he might not play. If Moyes comes out and says he's out, I think I have to do something.
Remember, most people have 4 to 5 blankers. Tarkowski's now injured. Goodmanson suspended. Chalobah is now out as well, who's quite highly owned. There's going to be a lot of people that don't have, there's going to be people that are out there that are only fielding 10 or 11, and that's before any random benchings anyway. I don't think it's as bad as you think it is, personally.
It's not against the player base. No, definitely not. No. For some of the casual mini leagues and stuff, you're going to...
It's like Luke said earlier, though. Like, I think the thing is, though, you could treat it as a bit of an opportunity to do something a little bit different and try and steal a bit of a march on players.
What I hope doesn't happen, though, is that in 32... because you've got to have 2.5 weeks or whatever it is sat there, because obviously that's what we've got to wait for. And then you look at it and everybody's wildcard and you're just sat there going, oh. And I don't know.
All the injuries and everything. This is why I kept saying to Az, save the free transfers, man. I was saying you have to save the free transfers for this point. I mean, it hasn't worked out for me. I've ended up with 0 points. But this is the reason why, is for this. We all knew it was coming.
The worst thing is the transfers I've used have all been to try and do something. The only good one I did was the Dango one. That one did pay off, but the Kelleher one
Dewsbury Hall did. Dewsbury Hall did.
Oh, yeah, Dewsbury Hall did, to be fair. That was quite a good one. Yeah, thanks, Andy.
No worries.
Yeah,
personally, and I'll say this now, and I could be completely wrong if you do it. I would rather take a -4 and just feel 10.
Just feel 10.
Or whatever. I genuinely would, but then I haven't listened to the same content you guys have about Wildcard this week, so
yeah, I would have felt that way as well, Andy, until I listened to it. Put it that way.
Yeah.
I think it did make good.
But I do worry. Like, obviously, I haven't listened to it, but like, surely, I'm assuming he went through all the cons of doing Wildcard as well.
No, I didn't listen to those.
Yeah, that sums you up, to be fair. Maximum punishment, though, as usual, isn't it? It's like you decide you're going to... Yeah, I mean, the Goodmanson and Tarkowski and everything. I mean, to be fair, we can at least all be... Andy, you didn't get salad, did you? Sorry, I must have been asleep during that. You haven't got
Slippers didn't.
Yeah, so I mean, at least we can take... Like, you've got to take the small positives out of this game. And I say that without even knowing what's going to happen. It might be that Salah's fit tomorrow, but at the moment, it looks like he's not, at least we didn't make the move and then have to worry about that.
I nearly
That would be
did. I nearly did as well. I nearly took the
Yeah.
hit for that, and I would have captained him, and I would have been on about 40 points and had less players.
Yeah.
Incredible. We've had one super chat tonight from Davies' family. Thank you very much. We'll just take this one and then we'll finish. Semenyo to Gordon, Palmer or Wirtz. On free hit 34, wildcard 35. If Gordon matches Palmer, Mins in 31. Who's a better pick? Bruno, Wilson and Bumo, Hugo, JP and Targo. So okay, this is if Gordon matches Palmer. So I think we're assuming Palmer's going to get 80 minimum, right? So we're saying Gordon, in this scenario, Gordon plays pretty much the whole game. I'd still have Palmer. If I could afford Palmer, I'd have him. It'd be my number one.
If he's on
pick.
wildcard 35, I mean, 33 double for Chelsea.
Yeah.
I think you go Palmer.
Yeah. Luke, any? You're
No,
going to say Palmer, aren't you? You said
I'm
him
going
all,
to say Palmer as well.
all same. Yep. All good picks. I think you've all Wirtz out of those. I think Gordon and Palmer are clear. And yeah, I'd go Gordon personally. Lovely stuff. That is it for us. Thank you all for watching and listening. Do give us a like if you've enjoyed the stream. Do give us a subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're listening on pod, do us one of those little review things that you can do on Spotify. Give us 5 stars. We'd really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure having you both on. We are edging closer, to use that word again, to 200 episodes. It's 199 episodes after we get back from the break. And yeah, we'll have to do something quite special for the 200th.
It'd be a double game week special as well, won't it, for episode 200?
Oh, it will.
Wouldn't that be for 33?
It will.
Yeah.
Yes, that will be a really exciting one. So it will all be suited up, and hopefully we'll have some special guests on as well. I'm going to sort that out a bit closer to the time. So look out for that. But until then, we will see you soon. Good luck in Game Week 31. And the green arrows for everyone, hopefully. See you later.
Cheers.
Bye.